Yeah, Elon Musk is in the crosshairs of the media, and yeah, as soon as I saw that, as soon as I saw the Fox Newses of the world, as soon as I saw the MSNBCs, the CNN, when it was a collective, let's go after Elon Musk, I knew something was off, something was amiss, and the story that got everybody's attention was the first one was in regards to Ukraine and Starlink, and I guess it was a misinterpretation by Walter Isaacson. And again, I'm full disclosure, I'm a big fan of Walter Isaacson's books. I guess it just came out on Elon Musk and basically talking about how he shut down Starlink, and wouldn't allow Ukraine to have an attack on Crimea. Basically, one of Russia has their major the Black Sea port that was there. And this was earlier on in the conflict. And as it turns out, again, the media was wrong. Wrong. I don't think they were wrong. I think they just didn't care. I think they were just lying to people and trying to get people all revved up against Musk. And the thing was, and what actually happened is that the Ukrainian government asked Elon Musk to turn on Starlink over Crimea because, again, it was ordered because of sanctions to be shut down for Russia. And obviously, Crimea was part of Russian territory. They asked him to turn it on, basically going against these sanctions so they could attack this port. And again, Elon Musk taking a step back saying, and again, I see it too. Earlier on in the conflict, imagine having that type of power and you're saying, okay, I'm going to turn this on. They conduct an attack, and then all of a sudden Russia comes back with some sort of tactical nuke, and you got to have that on your conscience throughout your life. I don't care whether you agree with Musk or not, but you can understand his point. And he's not a bad person for going in that direction. I get it completely. But he did an interview, and they were talking about the weaponization of government and the misuse of prosecutorial discretion. And they basically asking Elon, and why the Biden administration is after me. He said, I don't think the whole administration has it out for me, but I think there's probably aspects of the administration or aspects of interests aligned with President Biden who probably do not wish good things for me. And again, he was talking about SpaceX. They're still waiting for approval from the FAA. They got another planned Starship that they want to send up into the air, and they're not able to do that. And again, he talked about China as well. And this was also part of Walter Isaacson's book. And again, I saw this being covered today on Fox and Friends. And again, I'm being honest, oftentimes they have a very, how shall I put it, vapid, shallow view on how the world works. And again, there were, talking points in regards to what Musk had said about his relationship was to China, and the fact that he put it out there. He said, I think I've done enough business there that I think I understand these people and how they think. And he came under fire from, one of the Joseph Wu, who was the Taiwan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Musk had made the comment talking about how China felt that Taiwan was an integral part of China. And, Joseph Wu from Taiwan came back at that and going after, X and whether or not they're going to allow them to turn X on in China, and it's being censored. Again, people you got to expand your mind to some degree when it comes to understanding certain cultures and cultural differences. I mean, this is it's a country, if you will, it's been around for thousands of years. And their way of thinking, if you actually study it, it really hasn't changed much. And it's important. You want to be able to understand who your adversary is, your opponent is in this case. Would Musk love to turn X on in China? He probably would, but he knows that if he's going to do that, he's going to have to go by that country's rules. And yeah, they may have to censor some things. They already had that in regards to Hollywood and what Hollywood does to get into that market. Again, you might disagree with that. You might agree with that. But let's understand something. We cannot just decouple from China. It's just not possible. That's like dropping a cinder block into a bathtub filled with water, and what it would do to the overall global economy and the type of repercussions that would happen. So again, you're going to have to try to work towards some happy medium in the same way. And I love people pointing out China and human rights abuses. Yeah. And we want to change the way that they're doing things there. I get it. I understand it. But we all knew about what takes place in Saudi Arabia, what's taken place with them. But we've had no trouble doing business with that country. Take a look at all of the buddies that we have, all of these African dictators that are now getting thrown out of office and stealing all the country's resources and sending them over to some Swiss bank somewhere. We've had some nefarious fellows as allies over the years. Now, this is a country that we're tied to as far as the economy is concerned. Have we de-risked to some degree? Absolutely. And I think that overall is a good thing. But I'm sorry, you're not going to change my mind thinking that if we continue to do business with this country, try to open up more doors to doing business, the better off our relationship is going to be. The last thing in the world we want to have is some sort of armed conflict. And I think one of the best ways of avoiding armed conflict is to make sure that both sides of the table can be successful in a relationship and do well. I'm sorry, I've always been a big believer in the fact that the rising tide will lift all boats. Years ago, we had all sorts of alarmists out there. Wow. Oh, China's economy might exceed the United States by this period of time. And I'm saying to myself, well, you see the size of their population? You see the size of their population and they're growing, but you take a look at their per capita GDP, which is not even close to ours. And I'm saying to myself, wouldn't it be a good thing if they had a population that became wealthier and wealthier and wealthier? Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, listen, if you own a store, okay, if you own a store, wouldn't you like people with means to come in the store that can buy the stuff that you're selling there? I mean, it's not bad. Creating wealth around the globe is a good thing. Again, we have a lot we have to deal with in regards to their history. Are they very different than we are? Are they a command and control economy? Yes, but they always have been. And quite frankly, that's not going to change. I highly doubt that's going to change. They've got a history that's much, much longer than ours. The thing where I think many people are getting wrong is the fact that their culture and the way that they do things is going to be acceptable and attractive to nations all over the globe. And I don't think that that's the case. And when people see China trying to do business around the globe, I think that's all it is for them. It's not like they're trying to take these countries over ideologically. They don't do that. Not the Soviet Union by any stretch of the imagination. And they've never done that throughout their history. It's funny. And if you read about this stuff, they never thought that they had to. Because for a very long period of time, that was the most advanced economy, wealthiest country on the planet. And the countries that surrounded China, they felt that, I mean, they're very aloof. I mean, they believed that, okay, it was what must be everything under the sun was their emperor, was in charge, every basic under heaven, excuse me. And you pay tribute to them. And societies would end up emulating some of the things that they were doing. Do I think that's going to be the case? Do I think that's attractive to the globe right now? No. Command and control. No, I think it's going to turn most people off. Nor do I think people want to emulate that. But if business is going to do decent business, China are going to continue to do it. But then you're seeing, some of the business practices of China, their command and control stuff with their Belt and Road Initiative, they haven't worked out. You got countries that are pulling out of this. Italy is pulling out. They're like, no, we don't feel like doing business like this anymore. which is fine, which might force their hand to start changing things. Sometimes it's better people, you can win wars. I'm going to do another Sun Tzu bit, you can win wars without having to fire a shot. And why does it have to be a war? Why can't it be just competition? What does competition breed? I don't know. Excellence? WatchDog on WallStreet.com.